Boys and girls, we're not done for the night. We've got Sunday's games to preview because there's one on at 9:30 in the morning. I think it's Nashville and Carolina, actually. And then we've got a fun game for hometown hockey tomorrow. I was not able to make it to Langley. The weekend is just, it's not going to work. So as much as I wanted to go to Langley, and then I saw Tara Sloan saying it might be the best attended that it's ever been. If you're a THG subscriber and you're there when you guys are on camera, shout outs are appreciated. So yeah, that's always appreciated. Langley, right down the street. It's a crying shame I can't be there. Maybe next year. Because they do the hometown hockey all over. So maybe next year, but it's just not going to work this year. I am restricted to the house. I did go to 7-Eleven today though. It's those small things you do during the day. You're like, I'm gonna actually walk somewhere. I'm gonna leave the house. All right. That being said, tomorrow night, Florida's in against the Vancouver Canucks, and your guess is as good as mine on this one because both teams come in on losing streaks. Now, I think Florida's been playing better than Vancouver barely. Vancouver, yeah, they probably deserved a better fate against Arizona, but for somebody who wants to see Vancouver get Hughes, there's that as well. Now, I don't think Vancouver needs Jack Hughes more than other teams, but it'd be nice to see them get him. Win a lottery would be nice. Florida's 17-18-8. Vancouver's 20-21-5 over their last 10. Florida's 4-4-2. They've lost 5 in a row. Vancouver's 4-5-1. They've lost 3 in a row. So these teams are both in the bottom 10. If you watch the power rankings tonight, on the road, Florida's 9-12-3. At home, Vancouver's 9-9-2. Versus the West, Florida's 3-7-2 versus the East. Vancouver's 8-10-2. So, yeah. Vancouver doesn't do well against the East in the East. We'll see if they do well against an Eastern team in the West. Scoring leaders for the Florida Panthers. Huberdeau, 12 goals, 35 assists. Barkov, 17 goals, 27 assists. Hoffman, 21 goals, 19 assists. Dadonov, 18 goals, 19 assists. Yandel, 6 goals, 30 assists. Vetrano, 12 goals, 7 assists. Ekblad, 8 goals, 9 assists. McCann, 7 goals, 10 assists. Matheson, 2 goals, 13 assists. And rounding out the top 10 is Vinny Trocheck, who's still there with 3 goals, 11 assists. On the Vancouver side of things, Pettersson still leads the way with 22 goals and 20 assists. Horvat, 17 goals, 19 assists. Brock Besser, 14 goals, 14 assists. Goldobin, 5 goals, 18 assists. And the rumors still swirl that he's on his way out of the lineup and out of the off the roster altogether. Edler, 4 goals, 15 assists. Vertanen, 11 goals, 7 assists. Roussel, 4 goals, 14 assists. Eriksson, 7 goals, 9 assists. Hutton, 4 goals, 11 assists. And Granlund, 6 goals and 8 assists. And for people who are wondering why Goldobin would be on the market with his points, it's his defensive play. It's the intensity. It's just not there. So that's the rumor of why he's on the market and available and why the Canucks may very well be looking at moving him. So we'll see what they do, but that's the rumor. On the Florida side of things, I might as well check the goalies, right? No confirmation on who's starting in net tomorrow according to Daily Faceoff, so we'll go from there with hunches. I would start Luongo because he played for Vancouver for a long time, but they may very well start Reimer. Reimer's 8-7-5, 3.16 goals against, 8.95 save percentage, 0 shutouts. Luongo is 8-10-1 with a 3.36 goals against, 8.91 save percentage and a shutout. That save percentage makes me sad. As a person who's followed Luongo for a very long time, that's the lowest I can remember it being this late in the year. I can't remember a time it's ever been that low. Markstrom leads the way for Vancouver, 17-12-4, 2.88 goals against, 906 save percentage. I would expect Markstrom, because again, he played for Florida as well, so be fun to see Markstrom against Luongo. And remember, when these guys were traded for each other, Canuck fans, including myself, were very down on the trade. All these years later, it doesn't look like a bad move. Demko, of course, is the backup. He hasn't played any games yet, but Demko may very well find himself in the net. I could see them playing him tomorrow night, but I'm not sure. The advantage for Demko is that their schedule from here on isn't that bad. They had a brutal schedule the first half, a lot of road games, and now it's a little bit easier. But I don't know. I'm not going to come out and say, Vancouver will win this, because that's not how it works. On the Arizona side of things, they're 20-21-3 now. They're in against the Flames, 29-13-4. This will be the biggest test for Arizona during this winning streak of theirs. Yes, Arizona's on a winning streak. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. Calgary's 7-2-1. They've won 4 in a row. The Arizona Coyotes, though, no slouches. The question becomes, does their defense and goaltending hold up against that lethal Calgary Flames attack? On the road, Arizona's now 12-9-1. They're very solid on the road. They're not great at home. Calgary, those 14-4-4 at home versus the West. Arizona's now 13-10-1, whereas Calgary against the West is 29-2. Very solid season being put together by the Flames, and they're one of those teams that's looked solid pretty much from the start of the year. Leading scorers for Arizona, Keller, 9 goals, 22 assists. Schmaltz, 7 goals, 18 assists. Galchenyuk, 7 goals, 17 assists, and he has been picking it up lately, which is part of the reason for the winning streak. And as I said recently, he's the guy who needs to become the guy if they're going to have a chance. Ekman Larson, 5 goals, 18 assists. Stepan, 8 goals, 10 assists. Panik, 9 goals, 8 assists. Richardson, 11 goals, 5 assists. Cousins, 5 goals, 10 assists. Goligoski, 2 goals, 13 assists. And Vinny Hinostroza, 4 goals, 10 assists. Rounds out your top 10 for the Coyotes. On the Calgary side of things, Gaudreau, 26 goals, 41 assists. Monahan, 24 goals, 31 assists. Tkachuk, 21 goals, 31 assists. And Lindholm, 21 goals, 31 assists. That's right. There's 420 goal scorers in Calgary, and it's January 13th. Giordano, 7 goals, 37 assists. Backlund, 10 goals, 13 assists. Hanifin, 3 goals, 20 assists. Jankowski, 7 goals, 11 assists. Brody, 5 goals, 13 assists. And Frolik is in the top 10 with 11 goals and 4 assists. He suddenly looked like he wants to have a 20-goal season as well. Goaltenders, Kemper played tonight, so I expect Hill tomorrow. Kemper's 8-11-3, 2.66 goals against, 9.14 save percentage with a shutout. Hill is 7-4, 2.36 goals against, 9.15 save percentage, and a shutout. Have they played well enough that the Arizona Coyotes in the offseason could look to unload Antti Ranta, who has a cap-friendly deal and is supposed to be healthy come training camp? Could that happen? On the Calgary side, expect Riddick. Riddick 17-4-3 with a 2.45 goals against, 9.19 save percentage, and a shutout. Smith is 12-9-1, 3.09 goals against, 8.86 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Remember, though, Calgary has been trying really hard to get Smith going and does tend to play him when fans and pundits alone think, or together decide you should probably start Riddick. I do think that the goaltending issue in Calgary will eventually come to a head. February 25th is coming very quickly. Realized today, I'm like, wow, we're about 6 weeks out from the trade deadline. It's coming up fast, boys and girls. All right. Next up, Anaheim. The hapless Anaheim Ducks go on the road now, and they start with Winnipeg, which is not a great place to start if you've got a road trip and you're losing a lot. Anaheim's 19-18-8. Winnipeg's 28-14-2. In their last 10, Anaheim's 0-7-3. In their last 10, Winnipeg is 6-4. They won their last game. As I've been saying, they've looked kind of shaky in some of their wins, but they've been winning the games, right? So maybe Anaheim gets a few more goals than they would normally get, but they still lose the game. On the road, Anaheim's 9-11. At home, Winnipeg 16-6-2 versus the West. Anaheim's 9-11-4 versus the West. The Winnipeg Jets are 17-9-1. So all of the numbers favor Winnipeg in this one. Absolutely. When you look at the leading scorers, Getzlaf leads Anaheim with 10 goals and 21 assists. Henrique, 8 goals, 17 assists. Montour, 5 goals, 16 assists. Raquel, 5 goals, 16 assists. Kasha, 11 goals, 9 assists. Silverberg, 12 goals, 7 assists. Aberg, 11 goals, 8 assists. Ritchie, 6 goals, 12 assists. Lindholm, 4 goals, 13 assists. And Sprong's on the board with 6 goals, 5 assists to round out your top 10. On the Winnipeg side of things, Wheeler, 8 goals, 49 assists, leads them in scoring, 57 points. Scheifele, 24 goals, 31 assists. Connor, 16 goals, 18 assists. Laine, 24 goals, 8 assists. Bufflin, 4 goals, 25 assists. Ehlers, 15 goals, 12 assists. Little, 9 goals, 16 assists. Morrissey, 5 goals, 20 assists. Trouba, 4 goals, 14 assists. Tanev, 10 goals, 8 assists. And Matthew Perreault, 9 goals, 9 assists. Rounds out your top 10 for the Winnipeg Jets. Definitely more scoring for the Jets than for the Ducks. And the Ducks definitely need more scoring. They need more of pretty much everything right now. Goaltending, I expect Gibson. Johnson's 2-8 with a 3.36 goals against, 888 save percentage, and 1 shutout. It, I think, has hurt them not having Ryan Miller as the backup because they can't give Gibson the kind of rest that he needs. Gibson's 15, 14, and 7 now with a 2.72 goals against, 920 save percentage, and a shutout. On the Winnipeg side of things, Hellebuck probably gets the start, but Brossoit, maybe? Hellebuck's 19, 13, and 1, 2.87 goals against, 908 save percentage. Brossoit's 9, 1, and 1 with a 2.1 goals against, 939 save percentage, and a shutout. So he went into the last game. You're wondering, are his numbers going to drop? They actually got better. And Brossoit is making an argument that he definitely deserves more starts. That being said, the real question mark becomes one of, does Anaheim's losing streak hit 11 tomorrow night? And again, how bad can this get? And I say that as somebody who, as I've said recently, the Ducks are not my least favorite team anymore. They're really not even close. But this run, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Really, honestly. I thought they were somewhat better than this. Anyways, next up, and that's from somebody who picked them to miss the playoffs this year in his previews. Nashville. Nashville's 27, 15, and 4. They're in against the 21, 18, and 5 Carolina Hurricanes, who are trying to become relevant in the playoff chase. 6 points back right now, I believe. And very interesting what they're doing with the playoff race. If they were in the West, they'd be in, I think. Look, they got 47 points. Yep. That's where we're at. They're 6 points out in the East, and they'd be in the West. Can't wait for that fight. Right about March, middle of March, we're going to start really seeing that fight take place where the team in the East that's missing the playoffs is way ahead of the team in the West that's making it. Anyways, one of the teams that's making it and has a very good record is Nashville at 27, 15, and 4. They're 5-3 and 2 in their last 10, however, and they lost their last game. Whereas Carolina's 7 and 3 in their last 10, and they won their last game. Now on the road, Nashville's 12, 8, and 4. At home, Carolina's 12, 7, and 4. Versus the East, the Nashville Predators are 14, 3, and 3. Versus the West, Carolina's 7, 6, and 2. So it's going to be a very, very interesting matchup because against the East, Nashville's kind of lethal. Absolutely lethal against the East. And their numbers, not overwhelming when you look at their scoring, but they're going to get there. Johansson leads them at 8 goals, 31 assists. Ekholm, 6 goals, 28 assists. Yossi, 7 goals, 25 assists. Fiala, 8 goals, 19 assists. Smith, 14 goals, 11 assists. Forsberg, 16 goals, 8 assists. Forsberg's going to be the one putting up a lot of goals, I think. Sissons, 9 goals, 11 assists. Arvidsson's probably going to put up a ton in the second half. 14 goals, 6 assists for him. Ellis, 4 goals, 16 assists. And Bonino rounds at the top 10 with 9 goals and 10 assists. On the Carolina side, Aho, 18 goals, 29 assists. Teravainen, 10 goals, 26 assists. Williams, 12 goals, 14 assists. Ferland, 13 goals, 10 assists. Svechnikov, 11 goals, 8 assists. Slavin, 5 goals, 12 assists. Hamilton, 6 goals, 10 assists for him. And all the rumors are that he's on his way out of Carolina. Falk, 3 goals, 12 assists. Wallmark, 3 goals, 10 assists. Martinuk, 9 goals, 3 assists to round out the top 10 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Goaltenders, I expect Rinne because even though Carolina's out of the playoffs right now, they're a pretty solid solid opponent, so I would expect Saros to be the backup. He's 10, 5, and 1, 2.71 goals against, 906 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Rinne, 17, 10, and 3, 2.31 goals against, 919 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. On the Carolina side of things, I expect McElhinney, actually. Mrazek's 8, 9, and 2, 2.66 goals against, 902 save percentage, and 1 shutout. McElhinney is 11, 5, and 1, 2.3 goals against, 921 save percentage, and 0 shutouts for him. He really, honestly, I think, is saving Carolina's season. And he doesn't get a lot of press about it because he's in Carolina. Carolina, of course, due to attendance, due to their location, and due to the fact they haven't done anything in the playoffs in a very long time. They just don't get the press that a lot of other teams do. If McElhinney was doing this for Toronto, for Montreal, for Chicago, for any one of these original 6 teams, or for any Canadian team, he'd be getting a lot more press for it. It's been pretty darn solid. That being said, let us move on to the Rangers. The unpredictable Rangers. The sometimes hard to watch because the games get kind of slow, Rangers. But you know what? If they were in the West. Anyways, enough of that. Enough of that. They're 18, 19, and 7 right now. They are, of course, in Columbus tomorrow against the Blue Jackets, who are now 26, 15, and 3. Columbus looking to get on a bit of a roll here. This is a good team to come in if you want to get on a roll. The Rangers coming off of a win today, but they're 3, 5, and 2 in their last 10, whereas Columbus is 7 and 3 in their last 10. They've won 2 in a row. The team that wears red, white, and blue will win this game. On the road, the Rangers are 7, 13, and 2 at home. Columbus is 12, 8, and 2 versus the East. The New York Rangers are 9, 11, and 4 versus the East. Columbus is 17, 10, and 1. So coming off of a win over Washington, now they've got to avoid that dreaded trap game where they're playing that lesser opponent. So you defeat that team that's ahead of you. You've got to come out. You've got to play solid hockey against the team that's below you. And then we'll get to the goaltending side of this too, because that's where it gets kind of interesting. Zibanejad's the leading scorer for the Rangers, 12 goals, 24 assists. Hayes, 10 goals, 23 assists. Kreider, 20 goals, 12 assists. Vesey, 10 goals, 12 assists for him. Pionk, 5 goals, 15 assists. Fast, 7 goals, 9 assists. Zuccarello, 5 goals, 11 assists. Finally gets that 5th goal. Hedl, 7 goals, 8 assists. Nemesnikov, 4 goals, 11 assists. Howden, 4 goals, 10 assists to round out your top 10 for the New York Rangers. It's been a while since Howden got on the score sheet. On the Columbus side, Panarin, 16 goals, 32 assists. Atkinson, 25 goals now, 19 assists. So he has an outside shot at 50. Very likely to hit 40. He has an outside shot at 50. He has to kind of go on a run here, but it's there. He's at 25. Dubois, 23 goals, 16 assists for him. I think that's backwards. I think it's 16 goals, 23 assists. I'll chalk it up to being tired. Jones, 7 goals, 20 assists. Werenski, 9 goals, 16 assists. Foligno, 10 goals, 11 assists. Anderson, 15 goals, 5 assists. Jenner, 8 goals, 12 assists. Murray, 1 goals, 19 assists. 1 goal, 19 assists. He didn't play today, so we'll see if he plays tomorrow. Wenberg, 1 goal, 18 assists for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Goaltending, like I said, this is where it gets interesting. Georgiev played against the Islanders, so I expect Lundqvist to play against Columbus. Lundqvist is 12, 12, and 7, 3.08 goals against, 907 save percentage. Has not been playing well. Georgiev is 6 and 7 with a 3.15 goals against. His save percentage has gone back up to 901. He has a shutout. On the Columbus side, I expect Bobrovsky, because Korpisalo played today, meaning Bobrovsky plays against the Rangers, Korpisalo plays against the Capitals, which makes it look like the more important game was played in by the backup, just to stoke the fires, just because I feel like it. Bobrovsky, 8th, 18, 13, and 1, 2.87 goals against, 906 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Korpisalo, 8, 2, and 2 with a 3.08 goals against, 898 save percentage, and no shutouts, but perfectly willing to step in and play, and the record is excellent when he does. So, Columbus, let's see how interesting things get tomorrow. Here's honestly, and this is a guy who loves to see just chaos at times. Imagine if Bobrovsky let in a couple of soft goals and he gets pulled tomorrow. Just imagine if he has a short leash. If Tortorella puts him in and has a short leash, pulls him on 2 goals against, and puts in Korpisalo, just what might happen. That would be very, very interesting. And that's something that I'm kind of thinking, again, that would be, well, not fun for Columbus fans. Boy, would that sure be interesting. That being said, let us move on to the last game of the day. I have saved Tampa and the Islanders. The Islanders are kind of caught in this no man's land. We expected them to be towards the bottom, and I say that in that term because I know the New York Islanders. There was an article written in the Hockey News this past week about how we expected them to be a laughingstock. I didn't expect them to be a laughingstock, but I didn't expect them to be very good. I expected them to be competitive because Barry Trotz was their coach. I knew he would get wins out of them that other coaches couldn't because it's what Trotz has done in Nashville and in Washington. But he's done a fantastic job with the Islanders. Now, that being said, the question now is this. Are they a playoff team? There's a solid chance that they are. There's a above 60% chance last I saw that they are. But while they have an excellent shot at being a playoff team, are they capable of winning a round? And that's where the math for me gets kind of sketchy in that, they play, if they're a wild card, they're either going to play Tampa or likely Washington in the first round, maybe Pittsburgh. Can we see the Islanders beating either Tampa, Washington, or Pittsburgh? I can't make that math work. If they're going to start trying to prove to us that, yes, this isn't just a hot take, this isn't just a good run, this is who they are, and they're going to be in that contention, a win over Tampa tomorrow night would be huge. It would be huge for their self-confidence and huge for their fans, and not only that, but for their standing as being legitimately a contending team. Because Tampa's got 35 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties. Think about it. They've already got 72 points. They could win 15 games for the rest of the year and get to 100. Nope. They could win 14 games the rest of the year and get to 100 points. That's it. They've played 45 games. They only need to win 14 the rest of the way to make the playoffs with no problem and get 100 points. Whereas the Islanders are 24, 15, and 4. And they're right on the verge of being seen as, maybe they can be third. Remember, it's not that long ago they were third and Columbus was in one of those wildcard spots. Now, Columbus sits with 53 points, and the Islanders sit with 52. No, 55 points, 52. I'm doing the math just looking at the board. So 55 points for Columbus, 52 for the Islanders. It's not a huge difference. And not only that, but for the Islanders, the second place team is either going to be Pittsburgh or Washington. So I'm not sure which one you want to face in the first round. I almost think you prefer Washington because maybe Stanley Cup hangover. Maybe they're going to be tired. Pittsburgh's just going to be mad in the first round, I think. Anyways, getting ahead of myself. 9-1 is the record of Tampa in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. The Islanders are 7-3 in their last 10. They lost their last game, of course. On the road, Tampa's an impressive 16-4-2 at home. The Islanders are 10-7-3. Versus the East, Tampa's an insane 24-2. The Islanders are 16-7-4 against the East. Leading scorers for Tampa, Kucherov, 22 goals, 53 assists, 75 points, and pulling away as the leading scorer in the league. Point, 29 goals, 32 assists for 61 points. Stamkos, 24 goals, 27 assists. Johnson, 18 goals, 16 assists. Hedman, 5 goals, 24 assists. Gourde, 11 goals, 17 assists. Miller, 7 goals, 19 assists. Killorn, 10 goals, 14 assists. McDonough, 4 goals, 20 assists. Cirelli on the board at 9 goals and 8 assists. On the Islanders side, Barzal, 13 goals, 28 assists for him. Lee, 16 goals, 17 assists. Bailey, 9 goals, 24 assists. Nelson, 15 goals, 14 assists. Filppula with 9 goals, 10 assists. Eberle, same totals, 9 goals, 10 assists. Pulock, 3 goals, 16 assists. Beauvillier, 12 goals, 5 assists. Cizikas, 10 goals, 7 assists. Mayfield, 3 goals, 12 assists, rounds out your top 10 for the New York Islanders. Goaltenders, it'll be Vasilevsky because Domingue started today. Vasi's 18-4-2 with a 2.49 goals against, 925 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Domingue, not too shabby, 16-4, 2.99 goals against, 905 save percentage, and 0 shutouts. On the Islanders side, Leonard started, so maybe Greiss. Maybe go with Greiss in the next one. Greiss is 12-8-1, 2.69 goals against, 914 save percentage, and a shutout. Leonard's 12-7-3, 2.21 goals against, 926 save percentage, and 2 shutouts. I would play Leonard if I was making the decision, but it's not my decision. It's up to Barry Trotz. And as I said, he's Coach of the Year material right now, so we'll see where it ends up. Some fun games tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.